Okay, we'll wait for some more time. Only few have joined. We'll wait. Nineteen. This is not finished. Okay, let us start the class. So, in the earlier class, I was talking to you about process synchronization. So, what I told you essentially is that there are synchronization of processes is very important because we had already seen that the processes would happen in bursts. There is a CPU cycle, there is an input output cycle. So CPU may do some part of one process for some time, then it moves on to another process or moves on to an input output cycle and so on. And even a process may be converted into many threads. So many threads are there, and each thread may also be having the same logic wherein each thread may be also going in, for some time one thread will execute, then the CPU switches to some other thread or some other process. All these things are happening, and always we need to synchronize the processes. Now, while we also saw the various issues, I told you that, I told you about the dining philosophers problem. There are 6 philosophers are sitting together. In between, they have a bowl of spaghetti. But both on left and right side, there is a fork or a chopstick, and both the chopsticks or the forks have to be taken. Only then the philosopher will be able to eat the food. And alternately, he will be thinking or eating. And if a philosopher has to eat, both the sticks on the left side and the right side have to be available. And we have to also understand both the left fork or the chopstick or the right chopstick is shared with some other philosopher. So that challenge is also there. Then how do you synchronize this issue? Same way, reader-writer problem. Many processes are being read. At any point of time, a process will be read. Same time, another person or another user will be rewriting into the process. So we have to have a synchronization of read and write also. And the producer-consumer problem, I told you the same example. You are producing, consumers are there. The example of dosas. Now, today we'll see what is a deadlock. See, a deadlock means processes are asking for resources and these resources are not available. So the process will be in wait state indefinitely because these resources are absolutely not available. Somebody else is using them, and one process is going on asking for the same resource, but never you get it. And that is a deadlock because those resources are being held by others. Now, we also have to understand there are so many resources. Just like, I'm giving you an example. You are sitting in a lab. There are 60 people sitting in the lab. There is only one printer. All of you need to access the printer. So, it is a shared resource, right? When you are using the printer, the another person cannot use the printer. When you are giving a print command, another person is also giving a print command, it will be lying in a queue. But there could be situations where you are not at all getting access to the printer. It could be some other example. Maybe you are accessing a server or a token. Because somebody else is accessing, you are not getting access. Simple example: I am calling you by mobile phone. When I am calling you, nobody else can call me. Neither I can call somebody else. That is the issue of a deadlock. Now, every resource will have instances. A resource is such that you can have 1 or 2 or 4 instances of a resource also. That is also quite possible. With that logic, and a resource will be requested, used or released. You want the resource, you request for the resource. When you are using the resource, you use the resource. And when you do not want the resource, you release the resource. So based on this request, use and release, you have resources, and resources may have multiple instances. See, this resource process is circle. This resource has 4 instances. So any point of time, 4 people can use the resource. P is requesting 1 instance. P is holding a, so when you go arrow, one directional arrow is a request, and when it is ulta, it is a holding the resources. Now, when does a deadlock happen? A deadlock happens when all these 4 conditions are satisfied. Mutual exclusion. Only one process at a time can use the resource. That is first condition for a deadlock. Second one, a process that is holding a resource is wanting more resources to complete its action. So already you have a resource, but you need more resources from others to do your job. That is a hold and wait. Then no preemption. A resource can be released only voluntarily by the process holding it. Unless that person, that process releases the resource, you cannot get it. And finally, a kind of a circular wait. I am in the queue, you are in the queue. It's like, 3 people are sitting in the queue for your printer, and they are always waiting for the printer. You are not getting the printer. Right? I'll give you a simple example of a circular wait. There are 4 people using the printer. The first person has printed 1000 pages. Second person has printed 2 pages. Third person has printed 4 pages. Fourth person has printed 1 page. But unless the 1000 pages is getting over, you cannot access the printer. This is an example of a circular wait. That process is like that. So how do you prevent these kind of deadlocks? Now, you can use a resource allocation graph. This is a very simple thing. Resource is there. There is no problem. There is no deadlock in this system. R2 has got 2 instances. One is given to P1 and another one is given to P2. R4 has 3 instances, nobody is using as of now. R3 has 1 resource that has been given to P3. P2 wants that resource, but at the point of time, P2 is not able to use because P2 has got R1. Now let us see where there is a there is no deadlock here. Now there is a deadlock. R2 has got 2 instances. One instance is given to P2, another instance is given to P1, and P3 is continuously asking for one of the instances of R2. However, it is not in a position to get it because they are being used by the other processes. And unless P2 and P1 voluntarily leave it, unless they let go, unless they are free from this, it is not possible to get that. So we come across these situations where in this graph there is again no deadlock. It is in a cycle form like a tree structure. There is no deadlock. But these kind of deadlocks we need to prevent. And generally, when a graph does not have any cycles, cycle means there is a complete loop. It's completely looped. It's a closed loop sort of thing. There is no cycle. It is no deadlock. If there is a cycle in the graph and one instance per resource, then it is a deadlock. Now, in the next class, we will see tomorrow morning how to prevent deadlocks. What are the logic for handling deadlocks and preventing deadlocks? And there is also one very important thing called a Banker's algorithm, which I will explain to you in a video lecture. Banker's algorithm, how it works with this thing. I'll get you the right this thing. And this is another algorithm that you will have to learn in terms of programming. I already told you producer-consumer problem, readers-writers problem, dining philosophers problem, banker's algorithm. These 4 things will be what most of your end semester exam will be programming assignments, programming take-home work assignments that you will be doing. So you have to start this now itself. Tomorrow anyway, I will quickly go through the banker's algorithm. I'll close for today. So today afternoon, I have sent a video lecture to Anjali. So I am going to mark you all at present, but please go through this video lecture. It is on shell commands. I told you that, in an OS there will be multiple, in the kernel may have different shells. C has different shells, Linux has different shells. So shell programming, writing very, very simple programs for shell script is what we will be, you will be looking into this video lecture. And there will be a lab assignment based on shell scripting. But see, shell programs are very simple. It is like very small C programs with if then else, or switch statement or do while statement. Very, very simple kind of programs. So that is all for today. I will close for now. We will meet tomorrow morning 9 o'clock for the class on deadlock prevention. Okay, if there is nothing else, I'll assume all of you are present. Mark you off. Afternoon also, I am marking you all present. But please use the time and go through this video lecture. To next week, there will be no exam. But the week after, next week will be, it's only a Wednesday is the only day we are working. I'll leave you free. I'll give you as a study holiday. But the week after that, it's quite likely that you will have some lab assignment, lab evaluation. So please prepare for the same. I'll close for now. Thank you. Stay safe. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.